Hello, this is Coach Myrna Young. I am the host of the Mindset Transformation radio show and podcast. And today I just wanted to talk to you about being a guest on my radio program and podcast or being a sponsor. The show has a lot of touches. It is on 99.1 FM in Atlanta. It is on Blog Talk Radio. It is on the internet, iTunes. I post it on LinkedIn and Facebook. I converted to a YouTube video. So your marketing efforts to get your story out there or to get your services and expertise out there, it is the perfect venue to do it. So if you have a story, service, a book, or anything that you would want to get the word out there, just contact me at info@myhelps.us for more information. Bye. Welcome to the Mindset Transformation radio show and podcast. I'm your host, Coach Myrna Young, and today we are going to digress from our usual topic on life coaching. A couple weeks ago, I interviewed Trevor Evans on the topic, the path to financial freedom. And we received such an overwhelming response to that topic that I decided to do a spin-off on real estate investing because it's a big topic, it's a huge topic, and it is a topic that most people will glean some information from to take them from where they are today to where they want to be tomorrow. It's a way to fund your dreams. So we will start off our series with one of the most popular investment strategies in real estate investing, and that is funding, fixing, and flipping. And doing my research on this topic, I found that there is a plethora of mistakes beginning investors make when working with rehab properties, because that's basically what it is. You're funding, you're fixing a property that needs fixing, and then you're selling it back. It's called flipping. And most of them, because of watching MTV's Flip or Flop shows where, the hosts always end up making the right choices, and they make thousands of dollars in the process. And I love those shows, too. I sit there, and I'm thinking, wow, I want to make $900,000 in 3 months.
Exactly.
Some of the things that they offer there. So my co-host and I are both Abraham Hicks students and followers. And we know that there's nothing wrong with looking for contrast around you and choosing what you want to bring into your vortex. And we were setting the intention that all of you would-be investors or current investors will glean from our knowledge, me as a realtor and now getting into the other side of it, and Trevor, who is not only an investor, but he teaches this stuff for a living. So I hope that if you do fail, you fail forward, which means that you make mistakes and you know how to fix them going forward, which is basically what we all are supposed to do. We're supposed to take risks and learn from them. So welcome to the show, Trevor. I'm so grateful that you are taking your time to teach our listeners what you know. Welcome.
Well, thank you, Myrna. I enjoyed our previous interview, and I guess I enjoyed it so much. I said, let's do it again. Let's finish this thing off, right?
Yeah, you did actually. So you see, you are on the receiving end, my listeners, of this collaboration and our knowledge. Now, Trevor is very humble, and he's given me like 4 lines of bio here, but we're gonna get the rest from him in the show. But here's a little bit of a. What was that?
You're going to twist my arm.
Yeah, I am. Husband of 19 years, father of 2 children, ages 22 and 18. He is a speaker and trainer for the Legacy Education Alliance, also known as Rich Dad Education. He's an entrepreneur, a real estate investor, a banker, and founder of the personal awakening brand, Being Normal Sucks. I love that because being normal is mediocre, and you never get anywhere by being mediocre, so awesome. All right, so you might be now tuning in for the first time to this show, or you probably, a subscriber and you've listened to me every week, but I've never actually told you anything about me. I always talk about my guests on the show. So today we're going to deviate a little bit. We're doing everything different. So I'm going to give you a little information about me. All right, so I have been married now for 12 years to my soulmate, and it took me lots of tries to get it right. I got married the first time when I was just 17 years old. That marriage produced my firstborn son. Then I got married again, and my second marriage produced my beautiful daughter. She was born on my 30th birthday, so every year we get to celebrate our birthdays together. In my current marriage, we adopted 3 children, so I am the mother of 5 children. And in addition to getting married lots of times and being a mother, I am also the author of 3 books. I am a certified life coach, entrepreneur, realtor, and now I am going to call myself a real estate investor because that's going to be my new focus. So one of the ways that as a real estate investor, there are several vehicles that you can use. And one of the vehicles, as I mentioned earlier, is the fund, fix, and flip houses. And it is by far the most popular vehicle because of the opportunity to make lots of money quickly. Like I said, those flip or flop series, those are true stories. It just doesn't always happen that way. So what we're going to attempt to do here is that we're going to have Trevor come on the show, let's say twice a month, and we're going to pick a subject that we know you have questions on, and we are going to show you how to do this better. Right, Trevor?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Now, I'm going to keep some of the format of the previous shows, and that is, I'm going to give you a tip of the week. So my tip of the week this week comes from the book, Your Money and How to Keep It by Brian Costello. And he talks about when is the best time to purchase real estate. And he's come up with winter being the best time to purchase real estate. Now, I know this show is listened to all around the country and all around the world. We don't have winter in Florida, but, I was talking to my broker just a couple of days ago, and he was telling me that, people buy more in, the spring. So even though we don't have a winter, there's still a better time to purchase real estate. So according to Brian, he's saying that when the economic development can make a difference when it comes to purchasing a home, there's no question that winter is by far the best time to buy. He says, think about it for a minute. The weather is freezing cold. The winds are gusting. Everything is covered with snow. And everybody wants to stay inside where it is warm. And those few who do go outside to see houses that look unattractive because they're knee-deep in snow are the serious buyers. Could there be a worse time to be braving the elements looking for a house? And that is exactly what happens. Everybody sits tight. No one even thinks about buying a house in the winter months. They're all waiting for the grass to turn green and the flowers to start to bloom. In the meantime, houses are being put up for sale. The biggest reasons for selling a house still affect the marketplace, no matter what the weather. They include family breakups, company transfers, debts, financial hardships. When a family splits, it's not uncommon for the house to go up right away for sale because neither spouse has enough money to pay for it outright. If your boss decides to transfer you to another city, you generally have no choice but to move. As a result, your house might be on the market right away, no matter what the market is like. Most of us can't afford to pay the costs of accommodations in 2 different locations. So, debt, financial hardship, and divorce happens throughout the year, summer and winter. But to have them happen when there are fewer buyers interested in another house always works in the favor of the buyer. It's the old law of supply and demand, and that is what you see in the winter months. There's more supply than there are buyers, so the buyer is in a much better position to demand a lower price, financing terms, or a combination of both. Winter is also a good time to check that the thermostat is working correctly by looking for heat loss. If the prospective house has less snow on the roof than the other houses, it could indicate that insulation is lacking. And when you get inside the house, you can also listen for the furnace. If it goes on and off while you are there, you know that the house has drafts or furnace problems. All right. So these are some of the reasons why winter is the best time to get a bargain. So that's my tip of the week. I hope you got some nuggets. And as when the winter comes around again, you will go looking for bargains. All right. So let's get to the main course. Here's a word from one of our sponsors. Are you looking to invest in the South Florida market? The time is ripe for investors. Call Young Real Estate Investment Services at 954-999-6125 for all your wholesale or rehab purchases, buy and hold rental properties, or property management services. We are licensed in real estate and property management. We will also buy or lease your house. Don't delay. Call today, 954-999-6125. All right, so let's get on with the show and bring on our special co-host today. So one of the questions or one of the things that I noticed when I was doing research for this topic is that people make a lot of mistakes. So we're going to start off by asking Trevor what he thinks is the number one mistake people make flipping houses. And then, of course, we'll give you guys a few more. So take it away, Trevor. Oh, before we do that, can you tell the listeners what makes you an expert on this subject? Give us a little bit of your backstory.
What makes anyone an expert is one thing I know is that words don't teach, experience does. So once you have enough experience, that should make you an expert because you made your mistakes and you had your success. So it's quite simple. You know, I do what I teach. You know, it's very unethical to teach something that you don't know anything about. That's the definition of stupidity. And so what makes me an expert, if you want to call me that, is that I actually do these strategies, you know, and I make mistakes as well. However, my mistakes are minimal compared to the mistakes others make because mistakes I make still allow me to make money, but then at the same time, more importantly, learn from those mistakes. So I wouldn't call my mistakes because most people's mistakes destroy them, where my mistakes, you know, aid me in either in anything more knowledge or at least a lesson learned that I can overcome the next time, but still at the same time make money. And as you said earlier, you know, I didn't have any experience at all in real estate when I got out of the military, and I did not know what I was going to do when I got out of the military, and I went to a free preview, you're sold into this class, and then you pay a nominal fee, and then you go on to another class, and then that's where the big bucks come out. And again, I had no idea that I knew what real estate was, but I had no cognizant idea of what it can do for you. And as I watched the weekend, I enjoyed and appreciated what this vehicle can do, and so I took action and moved forward and began my journey. Now, when I did get out of the military, because I was getting involved into this new thing now, everyone thinks that, okay, since I'm going to get into real estate, let me become a realtor, because they'll teach me about investing, or let me become, some occupation that's tied to real estate. Let me become that, so I get a little bit more closer and a little bit more knowledge on it. And what I learned is that doesn't necessarily happen. And so I was no different from anyone else. So I had a friend that was opening up a mortgage company, and he called me in and said, hey, this is what I'm doing. We're doing mortgages, and it's real easy. And so I went there for a week just to watch what was going on and the process. And so I decided to become a mortgage broker with the intention of, okay, I'm going to learn about investing. And so I became a broker here in Florida, and didn't learn anything at all about investing. Just learned how to make the investors rich, because, again, this was around right before the time of the boom. So being a broker, I was trying to do two things, which was work as a broker and also be an investor as well. And through that process, I saw where I was making more money as an investor than I was a broker. I enjoyed what I was doing, and I can't say I didn't learn anything, but I did learn a lot, more so the financial background of investing, as far as funding the properties and what the banks go through and what the investors have to go through. So it did help me curb a few challenges that most people don't know of until they're actually in it. Mm-hmm. Well, that lasted 3 years as a broker, and I became the branch broker of 3 offices, which was one over here in my town of Cape Coral, another one in Fort Myers, and another one in Port Charlotte. And being a branch broker, it kind of took me away from the day-to-day interaction with people, and more so taking care of the branches. So I started to work more. And again, that only lasted 3 years. And then I decided to take on investing full time, because now this was right at the beginning of the boom. And
not a bad time to get in anything at the beginning of a boom.
Yeah, exactly.
Some people got in at the end of the boom and lost millions, right? Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. And so, like you make money and all that. So with the success, you get noticed, through legacy, and you're asked to give back, as far as if you want to, work as a representative in the back of the room, or as a mentor, or as a trainer. And so I chose the trainer route, because I had that experience as a branch broker, but not necessarily the experience of talking in front of a class, for 3 days. So all that experience led up to where I am now. So even though I did learn some behind the scenes of investing, it wasn't anything that I would say really was a big benefit or a big catalyst to my success as an investor.
So what do you think is the catalyst to your success? If you were to put a statement on it, what do you think? I think I know the answer to this, because I've listened to you on your 3-day training. That's how we met. But let me see if what I'm thinking is what you're going to say. So if you were to put a sentence on it, what would you say is the reason for your success as an investor?
it's competence, and what competence is understanding the rules. Most people play the game with enthusiasm and talent, which is fine, and the enthusiasm is they know they can do this, they know they can go flip a house or get into a real estate deal, and their talent may be the money that they have. And so people have success with their talent, and it's no different than playing a sport. You play a game to win the game. You don't play a game just to enjoy the game and all that. Yes, you want to enjoy the game, but the ultimate goal is to win the game. Well, in order to win the game, you have to understand the rules. Talent and enthusiasm just allows you to play the game, but it doesn't allow you to win the game. And one of those two resources will run out. That will either be your talent or your enthusiasm, and most likely it'll be your talent, which will be your money. And once your money runs out, then it's very, very soon your enthusiasm will also run out. And so to circumvent that, you combine your talent and enthusiasm with competence, which is the rules. Thus, you're now able to not only enjoy the game, but now win the game.
Okay, all right. Very good. That's not what I was going to say, but it it's still. Well, you talked a lot about looking at a problem with a different mindset, like wanting to run. You have a DOS operating system, and you wanted to run Windows. So is that compared to your competence?
Competence is pretty much you cannot have that shift in operating system if you don't understand the rules of a new operating system.
Right. So I'm saying, it's
you were right.
It's probably a difference. Right.
A little bit deep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm sorry. Say that again.
I just went a little bit deeper.
Right. Awesome. Yeah. Yeah, because our audience doesn't have 3 days to listen, right? So you just
exactly.
Yes, that's awesome. Right. Okay. Perfect. Yeah. So all right. So what we're going to do today, as you heard, Trevor is competent. He's been in the business for a while. He knows it from all aspects of it. He knows it from the mortgage investment part. He knows it from being a student of the legacy. He knows it from working it and putting the labor in, and then of course he meets people every week. And one of the great things about being connected is that you're not learning and stopping. You're learning every day because you're meeting people, you're learning new things, and that's basically what it's all about. So we're going to have a depth in our series here. Like I said, we're going to start off today by talking about mistakes that people make when getting into the real estate game and going after the rehab properties. So before we get deep into that, I'm going to take a quick station break, and we'll be right back. So stay tuned. We're right back.
Welcome to Mindset Transformations Radio Show with your host, Coach Myrna. Do you feel the need to do more with your life? Are limiting beliefs holding you back from true success? Enjoy a unique blend of interviews, discussions, and transformation coaching in every show. Get the tools for success. The Mindset Transformation Radio Show with your host, Coach Myrna.
Welcome back to Mindset Transformation Radio Show and Podcast. We are talking today with my co-host, Trevor Evans, who is a speaker and trainer with the Legacy Educational Alliance, who teaches wealth management through the use of real estate investments. And we are talking specifically today about the mistakes that people make when trying to flip houses. So, Trevor, what do you think is the number one mistakes people make? And I'm pretty sure it has to do with the rules, right? Knowing the rules, right?
Yeah. Before we get there, the number one mistake people make is pretty much wanting to even do one.
Really?
Because what drives their decision typically is watching these shows, as you said, flip this and flip that, and they make it look very, very easy, which it can be, but you never see any of the underlying dangers and the underlying process to get that house to where it is. And so people just think, I'm going to go buy a house, I'm going to throw some money in there, and I'm going to flip it and make all of this money. That's what the TV show you, right? And that's what happens, but that's what happens after months and days and hours of going through a difficult process that could either, afford you the opportunity to either love the game or that particular strategy or not. So a lot of people invest in anything, almost everything, without proper experience or knowledge in it.
Yeah. And what also they didn't teach you with anything is that success doesn't come now. I remember listening to something the other day when they talked about everybody is looking at Kevin Hart and saying, oh, my gosh, he's widely successful. And there's a statement that says it took him 19 years to be widely successful. So, again, the flip or flop, they're probably doing very well now, but that's because they have a great team. They have lots of money in their pockets. They have great backers. And because it's a show that's been cut up and been, they show you what they want you to see. But I'm sure that they've gone through the heartache and to get where they want to be. But someone, you're right, making a decision to take their last dollars and go and invest in something. And, so anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, because those shows, they are pretty much showing the end result of all that time and effort to build up that business. Because let me tell you something, they're not going to put a show on TV of anyone that has no experience or no foundation. Okay, and so we don't see that foundation that took them a long time to build.
Right. So so that would be the number one mistake. So, but still, I might be somebody that's listening to the show right now, and I have, a limited amount of money, and I'm thinking that this is the best investment for me.
Well, we look at investing, okay, and one thing people got to understand is this: investing is it's not easy, but it's simple. And what makes it simple is that it's a process that is done through setting up a system, okay, or principles, okay, and I say this on the weekends. A principle, all it is a principle does not create success; it prevents failure, right? And the three rules that people do when it comes to either flipping a house or getting involved in anything that's new is, one, they get emotionally involved, okay? And two, they pay retail, and three, they're intimidated, okay? And only to not become emotionally involved and to not pay retail and to not be intimidated by what you're doing, you have to set up principles or rules that will get you away from that, because those three mistakes are made based on the person being one, emotionally involved in the transaction. Real estate investing or any investing has zero emotion involved at all. The only emotion that's involved in real estate or in investing is the return that you want to make in your investing. But the process to create that return is a zero emotional process. And the only thing that creates that zero emotional process is to create a system, an And all the system is a group of principles that are lined up that you don't waver from, right? Because if your outcome is to create this result, and the property that you purchase, or have the opportunity to purchase, if for any reason it won't create that result, or it may hinder that result, all right? No matter how you acquire that property, whether it's very, very cheaply or in an area that you normally don't invest in, you set up a rule that says I'll only invest, in properties that are in this area, that are at this price point, that are doing this or have this many bedrooms or bathrooms or this age, so on and so forth. And so when an opportunity comes your way, all right, because you set up that principle, now when a property that doesn't come, or an opportunity that does come that doesn't have those preset parameters, you can easily say, okay, on to the next.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Most people
and now I
don't
see where you're talking about the emotion, because it's very easy to deviate from your principles when you get emotionally involved in it, because it might look great to you. Right. Right. Okay.
Very easy.
Yeah.
And so
go ahead.
And then, they pay retail, right? When you're investing, whether you're flipping, all right, you want to create what's called arbitrage. And what arbitrage is either cash flow or it's a spread, okay? Arbitrage is the difference between what you're paying and what you're going to make, or what you're going to pay out and what you're going to return. So
that's the same as equity? Is that what you're using that word for?
Yes, okay. Yes. So you can't create equity or arbitrage if you pay retail. And the only way to circumvent that, or to make up for the fact that you paid retail, is to put more money into the deal, okay, that now artificially creates that spread, all right? But that spread was created by your money, and that money could have been used for other things in that venture to create a big return on your investment. So paying retail is very hard not to, and I know this will probably be rub you the wrong way a little bit, Myrna, but when you buy from a realtor, okay, you are paying retail, because that realtor wants to make a
True.
commission.
No, it doesn't rub me the wrong way. I understand. But most people would only be able to get properties from a realtor unless they go and do what you guys talk about. What is it? Driving for dollars or something, which means that they drive around and knock on doors, that kind of thing. Other than that, they have to get it from a realtor.
Look at Fishbowl, right. or they find a realtor that specializes in working with investors, and if they do, they
and that's
understand
me.
that. Right, exactly. And if they do that, they understand that, okay, the investor wants to buy at a discount, okay, and so most of your realtors that are working with investors, they pretty much work more on volume, right?
Right.
Than they do, the quality of the house that they sell, because you're going to be selling these homes for less than retail, which will affect your commission. So to make up for that, obviously your volume will make up for that. And then once you've built that relationship, that realtor can probably now stand on their own, and now that investor can now pay that realtor. Now I know it's different for each county and each state, and I know some counties and some states don't allow it, but there are in some states and some counties where a realtor is allowed to keep a finder's fee all to themselves without sharing that with a broker. And if that is the case, if you're in an area where you're able to do that and the law allows you to do that, then then the investor can now pay that realtor a finder's fee that he or she doesn't have to share with their broker, and that finder's fee can be in the 5 figures as far as the payment. So, and it could outweigh their commission.
Right, that's true. Now let me just clarify something you just said. Now, when you are on the MLS, I would agree with you that you're paying retail, because properties on the MLS are on the MLS because the realtor has done a market analysis and they are pricing the properties based on what was previously sold, right?
Correct.
So, but realtors don't only work with MLS. Like now, for instance, I work right now with some hard money lenders that have off-market properties. And when they send me these properties, they say, hey, these are wholesale prices, and if you want to sell them, you just add your commission onto it or something like that. So I work with a lot of people that are even when you work with the banks that have the REO properties. You know, they're not, they're not in the MLS. But, yeah, properties in the MLS. But you can also counteract that because, and I know you teach that as well in your 3-day class, at days on the market. If a property is on the market for a long time, then you can still get it at a cheaper deal because the owner is motivated to sell it. So there's ways around it. But, yeah, I understand exactly what you're saying. Your profit or your equity all depends on what you pay for the property and what you can sell it for, because you've got your cost of the property, you've got your cost of your renovations, and you've got what the market is going to pay for it. So if you're buying it at retail, there's no way you can renovate it and then sell it back at retail. So I'm sure that's where you're going with that, right?
Exactly, right. and that's why
yes.
You say I'm a realtor that works with investors, because right. You're using a different avenue for those investors to use you, because you understand what they need to do their job as an investor. So I'm not saying that a realtor is wrong. It's finding the right realtor.
Right. Yes. Good. All right. And you had another one. What was your third one?
The third one was simply don't be intimidated, because when you're, and this is where the process now comes in. It's one thing to be intimidated in okay, I just bought this house. You now have spent your 401k money, or you spent some funds you were saving up, and that in itself intimidates you. Okay, just buying the home and now owning it outright, and all that. But then now comes the process. Okay, the process can be extremely intimidating, because you can't just go into the home and start working on it, okay, without doing some things first, all right? And that's where you have to know your investment area, okay? You have to know what you want to do with the property, okay, after you bought it, all right? You have to find out, do you have all the cash that you need to fix it up, okay? What's the best price, and how can you get to that best price, all right? If you're going to rent it out, what's the rental income, okay? What's the cost going to be to fix it up, all right? And do you have the time, okay, to put in to renovate it? And then more importantly, you can't do all the work yourself unless you're going to do what we call a remodel, okay? And all a remodel is just paint, trim, landscaping. Yeah, it's like putting makeup on a pig, okay? It's still a pig, right? That's what remodeling is, that. Okay? But rehabbing requires knocking down walls and digging up stuff, and that now requires things that you can't do, okay? And then therein lies the intimidation now, because now you have these contractors, right, that now get involved, and a contractor by themselves can be very intimidating because they'll say all these big words and they'll say all this stuff and they'll say things that you didn't even know existed, you know, and now, oh my gosh, and every time they say something that you don't know, every time they mention the word that you don't understand, okay, you don't hear the word. All you see is money flying out of the window.
The money, right, yes. And then, of course, there's unscrupulous ones that try to charge you. I mean, we tried to get a window put in our condo the other day, and the guy wants to charge us $1,800.
Right, and if you don't know,
because he's got to pull a permit. I mean, like,
If this is your first one, you're going to just say, okay, I guess, you know. And so now the whole entire process becomes intimidating. And here's the big secret. That will be the process every time, all right? But if you don't do it the right way the first time, then there may not be a next time, because now, irregardless of that's not a word, regardless of what you do make, okay, you will never forget the process. And if the process was intimidating, you're not gonna want to go through that again.
Right. Yes.
So the intimidation portion of it is
it reminds me of our next episode when we talked about somebody saying something is a headache, because you're right. He's obviously had some really bad experience, and now he feels that they're all headaches. So
it's always the experience that creates the either the lasting desire or the exiting desire. All right, and that pretty much sums it up by how intimidated were you?
Okay. Awesome. All right. Well, we're coming down to the end of our show. It was an awesome one. We left you with a lot of information on what are the rules and what is the process before you go in and spend your money and don't have the correct exit strategy. And then you don't do any more deals because the first one was so bad. So as we wrap up, how do you feel that they can understand the rules? Do you offer coaching, or how can you help these?
I don't offer coaching as far as a professional type, coaching, but I have people that reach out to me and ask me questions and everything, and if you're talking about someone that's brand new, I would recommend that they set up everything in advance first, as far as set a parameter on what you want to spend, and that is for how much you want to buy and how much your cost to rehab will be. Okay, find out the area that you're going to be doing this in. Okay, what is the after repair values of these homes? What can they be sold for once they're fixed up and ready to go? What can they be purchased for in that area? Set up go to your local RIAs and see if there's anyone there that you can contact or link up that may be a possible end user for this property that you may want to purchase and flip, because maybe they may have a database of people that can be of help to you. So you want to find out you want to get as much of the exit process secured, all right, so that now when you do enter it, you have some sort of a guideline to go by, because you already know what it is you expect to happen, and that can help you stay on task and not go over budget, and not do things that would detriment the result of the project. So in a nutshell, find out as much as you can about the result of the project before getting into the project.
Good idea. And yes, if you wanted to talk to a realtor, then you can contact me. I know that I went to my local RIA because, you guys recommended that. and it was amazing. I came out of there with about 10 contacts for hard money lending, and so it's it is a wealth of people there. What was that?
And again, even that process can be intimidating, because if you're brand new, you're stepping into this whole new world that you don't know anything about. Yep. And then you'll go in there just not saying anything or not saying the right thing because you don't know the right thing to say. So some confidence is required in doing this too.
Yeah, right. Yeah, or doing your due diligence, right? Okay, Awesome. All right, well, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back to wrap up our show. Stay tuned.
Welcome to Mindset Transformations Radio Show with your host, Coach Myrna. Do you feel the need to do more with your life? Are limiting beliefs holding you back from true success? Enjoy a unique blend of interviews, discussions, and transformation coaching in every show. Get the tools for success. The Mindset Transformation Radio Show with your host, Coach Myrna.
Welcome back to the Mindset Transformation Radio Show and Podcast. Our episode today was our real estate investment series, Fund, Fix, and Flip. We were speaking to my co-host today, Trevor Evans, and Trevor has left us with a whole bunch of nuggets as to what some of the mistakes that people make when they start off into the fund, fix, and flip area. We talked about before you are getting into the project, you have to understand the process, you have to understand the rules, you have to decide what you want to get out of it, make sure you're not paying retail, make sure that you are combining your talent with your enthusiasm so that you would come out of it frustrated and make your first project be your last. So some of the, Trevor mentioned that you can go to your local real estate investment, what is it, REA, what does it stand for again? Real Estate Investment
Association.
Right, okay, right. So you can go to your local REA and get some more information on investing in your local city. There's also a couple of resources that I want to leave you with. One of them is a real estate forum that is called Bigger Pockets. They have lots of books in real estate, and it's a forum where you can ask questions. Later on in the show, we will have some cheat sheets for you, or we'll have something that you can download from either myself or Trevor. But for now, we're going to send you to Bigger Pockets to get some more information in your local real estate office. And I also found this website. It's mashvisor.com, which is mashvisor.com. And Trevor was talking about making sure you're getting the right pricing for properties. This is one of the websites that you can understand pricing for and get some good pricing on properties other than going through your realtor. So stay tuned. Every couple of weeks, like I said, we will be giving you some more information of some of the questions that are coming into us. So we're going to be answering them for you so that you can start building your knowledge base, building your enthusiasm and your talents and your competencies by listening to us, listening to people that have been I've been a realtor for 17 years, and Trevor, you've been doing this for over 10 years, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. So, we've got a lot of information based on our experiences. Like you said in the beginning, knowledge doesn't come by just reading. Knowledge comes by doing and experiencing. So, Trevor, it has been a blast. It's been a pleasure. So anything you want to say as we wrap up? Give them your website just in case they want to, contact you directly for anything?
Yeah, the website will be going live here next week, and it's very, very easy to remember. It's beingnormalsucks.com, okay. And on that site I'll be giving out tips as well and resources, and it'll combine a lot of real estate, but it is mostly designed around the personal growth and personal development side of it, but a lot of real estate does involve that and vice versa.
Yes. Okay. Awesome. Now, until next time, just want to let you know and encourage you, if you like this content, to please subscribe to my iTunes podcast. Look for Transform Your Mind with Coach Myrna Young. If you want to contact me directly for any reason, either for personal coaching, real estate investments, or even to be a guest on my show, then just hit me up on the web. My website is MyrnaYoungHelps.com, which is MyrnaYoungHelps.com. I can't even spell. Start over. MyrnaYoungHelps.com. Until next time, thanks again for tuning in, and you guys have yourself a blessed evening.